You know, Gabriel Scott Poamang has been appointed by the president. Also, Justice Yao Apo has also been appointed by the president, the two of them, to go to the Supreme Court. They are tabled for vetting by Parliament. Let's hear what House Speaker Doa Jaho did the announcement, and then we'll come to look at that issue.
In accordance with Article 144, Clause 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I have, on the advice of the Judicial Council and in consultation with the Council of State, nominated for consideration by Parliament the following personalities for appointment as justices of the Supreme Court of Ghana. They are: 1. Justice Yao Apo. 2. Mr. Gabriel Poamang. Attached at their curriculum vitae. Please accept right honorable the assurances of my highest consideration. Signed, John Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Honourable members, the communication is referred to the Appointment Committee for consideration and report to the House.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. And the show is brought to you by Bank of Africa, strong as a group, close as a partner. MTN, welcome to the new world. Sasso Spray, fresh and powerful. Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985 and celebrating 30 years of solid partnership. Lipton Tea, the #1 tea brand, and Yum Vita. That certainly is a delicious way to grow. Now, I just want to read some concerns that have been raised on the appointment by Professor Kweku Asare, Stephen Kweku Asare. I've been doing quite a bit of reading, but it's good to give you a certain perspective. Parliamentary vetting must consider these things. That's what he's looking for. He says, #1, the procedure used to arrive at the nominee. B, any constitutional or statutory requirements relating to the office in question. And C, the suitability of the nominee for the appointment proposed, having regards to whether the nominee's abilities, experience, and qualities meet the needs of the body to which nomination is being made. Then he says, 1, was the procedure used to nominate Judge Apau and Mr. Poamang in conformance with Article 1442, the other Supreme Court justices shall be appointed by the President, acting on the advice of the Judicial Council in consultation with the Council of State and with the approval of Parliament. Was this followed? That's the question he's asking. Specifically, did these names come from the Judicial Council, or is the President who just picked them up and gave out to Parliament? 2, where are the published writings of Judge Apau and Mr. Poamang? He says there may be the need to appoint people who can show that they have published. So he says Supreme Court justices reason and right. We must interrogate nominees' ability to do this based on their prior writings. I'm sure Nana Atodazi is going to say this is a criteria that we are seeking to smuggle into the Constitution that doesn't exist. The Constitution says 15 years, and you must have been of high moral integrity, proving integrity, and so on and so forth.
It's simply that. It's simply that. I think that where the Constitution is clear, we shouldn't seek to be importing things. We will confuse issues. Like you said, on the 1242, it's very clear that the person must, first of all, be not less than 15 years standing at the bar, as a lawyer. Secondly, he must be of a high moral, character. 2, must have a proven integrity. These are the 2 key or 3 key, what do you call it, requirements in Article 128, 3 and 4. It is important to note that some of these things just come to the public the first time that you hear them. You understand? But given my own experience as former chief of staff, I know that there's a lot of consultation which will go on. I will be surprised to like what Professor was saying, that like the names were dumped from the presidency straight to parliament without going anywhere. It's impossible. Look, the Judicial Council is a very strong body, very, very strong body. I can say that in this country. It has very eminent men and women, proven women on, and they will never accept this kind of deal. So I, from the word go, will accept the evidential proof.
Effectively, the Judicial Council is the one that does the screening of these people and shortlists them and presents to the president as these are the people who are qualified.
Howsoever that they get the names, the point is that an advice will come from the Judicial Council to the president. He will refer it to the Council of State. The Council of State will say, well, we are also satisfied, we don't have any objection. Then the matter will go to Parliament. So but before the president drops the name in Parliament, he would have satisfied. There's no way. There's really no way that Judicial Council will entertain this.
The inferior court judges who go through a rigorous examination, this group don't go through any examination?
I can
or
understand.
It's not required?
You see, Professor, what's the name?
Asare.
He raised some real interesting things, points which, of course, the Judicial Council behind the scenes will look at. If the matter comes, they will find out how what is the standard of this person. If Mr. Barima has been tabled, they will examine his academic credentials, his standing. After all, at the bar, we know each lawyer and his performance. Not true, all right? We can tell who is a good lawyer from who is, but it's anybody's head.
Barima has done 26 years as a lawyer.
Yes.
But is that sufficient? And people are saying that he was General Secretary of the PNC. He contested elections on the PNC's ticket. Why put such a person on the Supreme Court?
Well, Barima is a very independent-minded person indeed. The way he's the same person I know. But let me tell you, he was also a commissioner. He was a member of the Constitutional Review Commission.
Yes.
That's what about him. What about that? He was also, I think, the coordinator of the inter-party organization. He's been handling it. All the parties, they chose him. They find him as a neutral person when it comes to his professional work. You understand? He's guided this growth of the constitutional development, IEA and all that. I mean, he's quite eminent. He's a very quiet, reserved fellow. But really, I mean, I think that some of the attack that I'm hearing is unfair for people who either do not know the man in person or just from behind, just say that they think that is, what do you call it, maybe aligned. As for the politics...
You say the proposal is good. Professor Asare is saying you should have published. Should that also include justice power? Because we know that often your judgments as a judge of the lower court is considered, not just the lower court, as you move up. So his judgments when he was on the High Court, when he was Court of Appeal, all of these things are considered.
Yes, I believe that the the Judicial Council would have considered all this. If the Judicial Council was not satisfied of his suitability to the Supreme Court, they would have said no. I'm very confident about it. They have said no. But if they pass him, then, and I'm saying, Mr. Justice Apao has been on the bench. He's competent. He's handled so many critical cases. But just briefly, I mean, I've heard some people saying, how come that they are appointing Mr. Barima straight from the bar, to the bench? That is really, it means that you don't understand the legal, you don't know the legal history.
Not to the bench, but to the highest court.
I can give you a long list of persons from Mr. Kolabi straight to the bench, you know, Bensi Enchil, straight to the Supreme Court. Justice Databa, you know, straight to in recent times. I mean, this is not, it's, once they are
Modibo
Okran and all that, it's normal. It's normal. What we do is we assess people based on their what do you call, their proven integrity and whatnot, and their academic, you know, what they will bring to fore. You look at Professor Databa, you know, after teaching all of us over so many years, he's about to retire. Okay. You put him on the bench, and he influences the bench.
That's where I come to Kweku. Kweku, the other suggestion from people like Gabi Asare Chodako, for example, sounds a bit somehow very legitimate, that you are replacing people who have left, judges who have left, and we know them to, those who have left the Supreme Court, to be people who were colossuses on their own from academia. So why don't you mix with the academia rather than go and bring another judge and bring a lawyer straight forward?
Well. I am not sure that is something that is cast in iron, which the appointing process ought to always consider. It's not an absolute. We've been told here, it's the Judicial Council. I think it has an appointment committee, doesn't it? Yeah. And then the President, Parliament, and Council of State. Look at the structure that gets involved in this particular business. A bird whispered into my ears not too long ago. I haven't verified and I haven't confirmed, so people should listen to this with a note of caution. That I think about 10 names or so was presented from the Judicial Council area. You know, and so the executive then was given the liberty to just pluck 2 out. Maybe that was defective. Maybe they should just have sent 2, 3 names that they want to be to fill in and leave it there. The executive would have been compelled to go along with that. But if you send about 10 names, you may create room for discretion for the executive to choose. After all, you say all the 10 are okay, but you should have rated them, ranked them. This, I say, I haven't verified. So it's with a note of caution, those listening. Don't consume, digest it uncritically. But you see, the issues that have come up, the one, the political angle, I don't see why it should come in.
Why not?
Justice Apau himself, he was a PNDC Deputy Regional Secretary. You know that? Atuguba was an MPP parliamentary aspirant. Are you aware?
Of course.
Okay. You know about Justice Kobie?
Yes.
You know he was a PNDC, NDC Minister of Local Government?
Right.
Adadi? You remember? I'm mentioning names. You remember Adadi?
Yes, Adadi.
Yes, NYB Adadi. Was he not a politician?
MPP, PP.
UNC and all that, wasn't he? You know that? There are many. Indeed, the great Akufo-Addo, Nana Akufo-Addo's father, he was a politician. Got appointed into the Supreme Court during the Nkrumah era. Am I right?
Yeah.
There are thousands of examples. Indeed, Justice Apau, I was looking at his record here. You see that the first date of first appointment was 1999, 2nd September. Then in 2011, 22nd November 2006 was when he was elevated to the Court of Appeal. It was under Kufuor. His political background was immaterial then, so it should be immaterial now. There have been attempts to suggest that because he's been made a judgment debt commissioner, that's like a favor, a reward. Same thing was done to Georgina Wood, the great lady, because she chaired the cocaine MV Benjamin thing. Even during her vetting, the issue came up, and she said she did that job at the request of the Chief Justice. No judge takes that appointment without reference to the Chief Justice, and also as public service, and showed why judges, 7 judges, could deal with some extrajudicial public service if they are requested.
The comments that Gabi makes, He's supported by Joe Wise, Joe Sewu, so I've heard him in Parliament. Patrick Boama, also in Parliament, suggests that the vacuum you are filling, why don't you make it represent a mixture so that these are academicians who have left. So if you are bring some academicians in there.
I'm saying that that is not an absolute. You can't force that on these 5 structures, this whole complex structure I put out there. You can't force it on them. And are we suggesting that those who are now on the Supreme Court lack intellectual and academic depth? Is that the suggestion? I'm not too sure about that. Okay, and indeed they do a lot of research. A lot of authorities are cited before that inform their judgments and things.
Okay.
So go beyond just that mere academic thing. Okay, so I think that we should take it out because you can have hundreds of examples. But he chaired a certain committee of inquiry.
Yeah, the Badegbe Commission of Committee, yeah.
So again, that thing, that link, that attempt to bring in links,
okay,
it's so unsustainable.
All right. We are running out of time. Nana, I'm sure you have also heard, it may sound absurd, but the question that was asked is, will the president appoint Sir John to the Supreme Court? If he will, then it is right to have appointed some of the people that he has. Because John too has how many years as a lawyer at the bar?
You need not pose the question that way. Indeed, is inviting us into the realm of absurdity.
Okay, Koko, I didn't ask you. I asked Nana.
I'm sorry.
Koko, why would that be absurd? Sir John is qualified.
No, but if it shows that you are distorting the thing. You are
He's
making the point
qualified
that
by what?
you are a political
He's qualified
Years
by
of
what?
experience.
By years at the bar.
Yes,
Okay.
more than 15 years at the bar. But you see, these questions.
But you know that that's not where the criteria stops. It is 15 years at the bar, correct, standing at the bar. Then you must have high moral character and then proving integrity.
No, but you see the point, and I'm sorry for being rude and this kind of crude intervention, is the political thing.
Okay.
It is not whether the person is qualified or not.
Right.
The point being made that said, John, yes, it's a political element. So why don't you put
He
him?
too has been general secretary.
That's
so
right. I'm saying it's an
Actually,
absurdity.
that proposition is a red herring.
Thank you.
Yes, a waste
Okay,
of- waste of everybody's time.
quickly, Nana, 1 minute.
I mean, whether it is a red herring,
It's a red,
or
very
it's a
red.
political thing. Those are the sentiments of other people.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's right.
Something. My take on this is brief. The gentlemen who have been proposed, I don't have anything against them. But my angle is this: appointments to the Supreme Court should be appointments that will be generally acceptable for the integrity of the people themselves. It's not always so. In America, you have running battles through the approval process and so on. What I would like is not available now, but what I would like, and not just for Supreme Court judges, but even for electoral commission in the future as we look at constitutional amendments, the approval of such persons who need to go to the positions with a certain kind of acceptability and perception of integrity. I would wish that as a nation, the approval process for such positions be put at 2/3 of Parliament.
Okay.
Then all the issues will be canvassed, and I believe that it will serve our interests better.
Okay, thank you very much.
Some were subjected to such
Right,
things.
right. Sorry, but we have run out of time, and this is where we draw the curtain, really. And you mentioned Koe Labi.
Konabi, I did.
Okay, who was MPP?
His father.
Okay, his father.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
father.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry we are unable to continue from this point.
He came from detention.
Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. The show is repeated at 9:30 right here. Abdul Malik Kwekubako, Franklin Odro of the CDD, Nana Atodazi, former chief of staff and also a legal practitioner. Nana Akomia is communications director of the NPP. Have a good afternoon.
Newsfile was brought to you by